All right, guys, I'm gonna tell you guys we do have some Apple news, and I know, you guys are all Android fans. I get it. But on June 9th, I'm not. I'm an Apple person, okay? On June 9th,
My
Apple
beautiful
held.
Android.
I get it, okay? I get it. Look, I think this is very good on what they're doing, okay? I'm really excited about some of the things that they talked about during the Worldwide Developers Conference that happened on June 9th. And I think it's going to help Apple kind of compete more with Android because, like, just like Xbox and PlayStation are button heads, we have these two button heads.
Of course we do.
So let's talk about one of the big features that they're bringing to their products, and it is actually called live translation. So live translation automatically translates messages as you type them and deliver it to someone in their preferred language, which is so smart because a lot of states nowadays don't have everybody speaking English. There is a mixture of all types of people that live here and across all different states in America. And even if you go overseas, like it could be very useful in that sense. And it doesn't stop there. You know, if you were to FaceTime call someone, let's say Morgan, you want to talk to Grimm's mom because she has to ask you something, but she can't speak English very well. Well, you use a FaceTime with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll actually be able to talk to her, and it will translate live captions for her, so that while while they're still hearing you in your voice, so that she can keep up and still understand, and vice versa. If she's talking back to you, you can understand what she's saying, so that you can react properly, as opposed to, I don't know what you're saying because I don't speak that language.
Very
And
fair.
same goes with phone calls. You might be on a phone call and the translation is actually spoken aloud through the conversation, which is so great. So I will say this though, when it first comes into play, it will say whatever in that person's language on a phone call, and then it will translate it.
Okay.
So that you still understand, like, I'm not talking to someone who speaks my language, and this is what it sounds like. So I think that's kind of cool. So onto the iPad. Now you'll be able to use a new feature that will help you control, organize, and switch between app windows. So the new window system lets users fluidly resize app windows, place them exactly where they want them, and open even more windows at once. So this is a very interesting design that will make it easier for people to use their iPads like laptops in a way. So you can hook up a keyboard, you can hook up a Bluetooth mouse, and you literally can use it as if it was a laptop. I think this would be really helpful for people who are older, the older generation, who maybe don't need a laptop, but they need to still be able to write emails or move, or maybe open little documents or move things around with a mouse, like emails, stuff like that, calendars. It just makes it very simple for people who don't need laptops. Even little kids, kids are on their iPads all the time. And if you can start getting them to do typing and stuff like that, this could be very helpful for them. So the last device I want to talk about is actually the Apple Vision Pro. So all of the new iOS systems are going to be called OS 26. So this will be called VisionOS 26. And it will provide a new spatial experience. So users can decorate their spaces with their favorite widgets, including panoramas and spatial photos of your favorite memories, clocks, and quick access to your go-to playlists and songs on Apple Music. The new OS will have a redesigned control center. You'll be able to unlock your iPhone while wearing your Apple Vision Pro. You'll be able to relay calls from your iPhone, and the home view now supports folders, which is really interesting. So they showed a whole bunch of different demonstrations with this. What I really love is if you put pictures on there, it literally creates what looks like a window. And so it looks like it's actually a window in your wall. So it gives it kind of that 3D look, which is really fun. Yeah, and even clocks are really cool. You could put a clock on a wall and then you can change it to whatever you want it to be like, so that it matches your style.
Very nice.
So there are many more features to other devices, such as the Apple Watch, the Game Store, and the MacBooks. So for those who are Apple users like myself, What do you guys think of the OS system and what features are you looking forward to? Let us know.
I do like their live translation bit though, because I could see in like certain use cases that definitely being very helpful. So even if you think about like the if you're somebody who like is married, like having an interracial marriage, and like
Hmm.
your in-laws maybe are very broken English, and it, like but you don't have that, like you're not a strong speaker in their language. Like it could help with even like bringing families together that are already technically together. So
Right.
yeah, I think there's a lot of really sick use cases with that for sure.
Well, I also think too, because a lot of people are going on cruises. Cruises seems to be like the new way to vacation these days, you know?
Mhm.
And people will go overseas to cruise and they'll just drop you off in a city, but you might not speak their language.
Sure.
So
Even just
having the ability
traveling
to,
internationally, like when I went to Japan.
right, right. So just having the ability to be able to communicate and ask for like simple things like, where's the bathroom? How, like where's the nearest restaurant or whatever they would call it, and stuff like that. Just being able to communicate stuff in a very simple form makes it
Mhm.
super easy. And what's so great about it is literally I like the texting to texting in different languages, because even if I don't text in, let's say, French, right?
Mhm.
Knowing that if I'm talking to somebody who's from France and they text me in French, it'll translate back to my language so I understand it, and vice versa.
I am
So I
curious
think that's
how
very
good the
smart.
translation is, because like obviously we have like Google Translate, for example. That's usually what I use to like I'll type up my message in Google Translate to Rob's mom, like when she was in town when he was in town for my wedding. Her and I communicated a lot. Um and I know that like Google Translation is close, but it's not perfect.
I know they're using AI generative because they talked about it a lot during the whole entire developers conference. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, just not knowing how Google does theirs. I mean, I know Google has Gemini, and they could be slowly starting to incorporate Gemini into their Google Translate later,
That could
or
be.
could be like working on it right now. I don't know.
I wonder how it's going to do sentence structure. And is it going to
Right.
be more like verbatim, here's just word for word, like our translation of what we said, or is there going to be adjustment to sentence structure? That like that's the one I'm very curious about because I just love and I'm fascinated with the way that like languages work anyway. So
Mhm.
yeah, for me that's the one I'm the most intrigued to learn more about.